Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Glen Nuts Cow Emporium. If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I had this sourdough named Frank. I started Frank back in April. I think it was April 8th or April 10th. And anyhow, and you'll also know that I've been fermenting all sorts of wonderful things in the house. I've always got a batch of sauerkraut kind of on the go, and I've been fermenting pickles and carrots and vegetables, and of course we make our own yogurt, and so lots of bacteria stuff floating around. Well, poor Frank was in the fridge. I'd taken him out and made a sourdough the week before, and when I put him back in the fridge, I just put a paper towel over top of him, and I forgot to actually seal it, because when it goes in the fridge, it doesn't really bubble and grow like it does when it's on the counter. It kind of goes into a little bit of a calm state, much like I needed when I found out that I wrecked Frank. So when I took Frank out, I should have taken some pictures, because there was a scuzzy thing on top of Frank, and almost looked a little like some white mold there. Now, reading up on it, and if I was a little bit more trusting, maybe I would have just scraped that off, because it really was only about this much at the top. Anywho, I got rid of it, and I feel so terrible. So I'm going to try to round up some pictures of Frank so I can honor him really nicely with a few pictures of the loaves that we made, because I think we probably made 15 loaves or something out of Frank. Anyway, Frank was delicious. So I started a new one. I haven't decided on what to call it yet, so if you got any ideas for names for my new sourdough, drop them in the comments. I am going to be starting it with some rye flour. Now, I have to say, this is organic, stone ground, dark rye flour. It's all I could find at the time, peak of COVID. I was in our small town grocery store. It was the last package. This was $10, guys. 623 grams. So, because it's organic, specialized, okay, whatever, they're making it. I found this, also not in my grocery store, but in a local town. And this package, 2.5 kilograms, 5.5 pounds, $4.99. I was like, yeah, let's get that. It's not like I use a lot of rye flour, and if you don't refrigerate it or freeze it, it goes rancid. Same with our home milled whole wheat flour, it goes rancid. Anywho, my phone is blowing up this morning. People want to talk to Nat. Okay, that's awesome. I got friends! So happy. Okay, what am I doing here? Besides being an idiot. Alright, so I got a half cup measure. Ooh, I sterilized my jar. Okay, I know you can't see the counter right now, so I'll hold stuff up. Sterilized my jar. I got a half cup measure. I'm just going to scoop out half a cup of this. And I'm going to dump it in my jar. And get it all over the counter. And to a half a cup of the flour, I sterilize the water again, okay? It's just our farm water. It doesn't have any chlorines or anything in it. If you live in town, don't use your tap water, guys, okay? Buy some distilled water or some spring water. And if you buy it bottled, you don't have to sterilize it, okay? That part's done for you. So anyway, I'm going to use the same half cup measure and roughly put in a quarter cup of water, and it says that's all it needs. I think this is going to be a pretty thick paste. So we went to Chapters, because Chapters opened, hallelujah. So I bought this book, and I'm following the recipe out of there from Catherine Green. Thanks, Catherine Green. And I feel like this is going to be a pretty thick paste. And yeah, I just want to say right now, I can hear every foods class teacher that I've ever worked with screaming at me, don't put your liquid measures in a dry measure cup. Yeah, well, too bad. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to use a knife to mix that up. And As with the very first time I did this, I'm like, dude, that consistency doesn't look to me like it's going to do anything. Add some more water. Okay, so mix it up. That's more of a paste now. Okay. I'm gonna try this because, I mean, it's different than the way I did it before, even though I still added a little bit more water. So I can use my scooper thingy. Scoop down sides, see the consistency of that? Not liquidy at all. Okay. So the jar's pretty good actually. I'm just gonna make sure it's kind of off the side, maybe give it a little press down. Okay, there it is. Okay, I got a clean towel. I'm just gonna put it over top of that because you want it to breathe, because it is doing a fermenting thing, right? It needs oxygen, and so we don't want anything getting into it. Okay, so now it's gonna pick up whatever it wants to from our house and start growing. Whatever kind of free-floating bacteria are around. And so we got a new one. Let me know what you think we should call this. I don't know. I have no idea. Some people say you shouldn't name your food, but it's sourdough, guys. Let's have a little fun with it.
In the greenhouse, I have these lettuces planted. They were a lettuce that I started inside, and you know, transplanting your lettuce is not something I would really recommend because it's so easy to start from seed. But I had it downstairs in trays under the grow lights, and I thought, well, why not put it in the greenhouse? But as you could see, it was crowding out that tomato plant, so I decided to cut the lettuce. The reason why I didn't pull the whole lettuce out all at once was because I didn't want it to damage the area around the tomato plant, so I just cut the lettuce and then gently pulled out the roots. Nice job, Nat. And here I'm pointing out the suckers on the indeterminate tomato plants. These are a cherry tomato plant, and these suckers will form an entirely new plant, and they grow in the V between the main stem and the branch. So you can actually, if these were a little bigger, the one that I picked off that's a little bigger here, I could have actually planted it in dirt and it would have grown a whole new plant. So I'm going to try to catch one when it's a little bit bigger, and I'll show you how easy it is to start your own tomato plant from cuttings. So you never want to do this with a determinate plant, only indeterminate, where they get like 6 to 8 feet tall. I heard this kind of soft mooing noise out in the fields, and I looked just in time to catch this mama cow have this calf. Now, it's the middle of June, so we should be wrapping up calving here. I know that there's a few late ones out in the field, so wow, kind of cool that I was able to catch that. Beautiful day to be born. I went through the garden and I pulled off all the damaged plants and I salvaged anything that I could. I did cut the spinach down at the end there completely, and I pulled a row of spinach out here because it didn't look like it was going to manage. That's red Russian kale. I was kind of excited to grow it. I haven't grown much kale. I'm doing an experiment with these onions, and I cut the tops off completely. Some are multipliers and some are bulb onions, so they would grow whole onion. And then I moved on to the beans. Super sad about everything, but I mean, the beans and the onions really got me. So I cleaned up the bean area. I pulled off all the leaves that were broken and replanted some beans. These are nasturtiums. They're a climbing vine. The whole plant is completely edible. Oh my goodness, what did Nut do now? Well, I bought these colorful house pots last summer and I had them on the front deck where they were covered. Having too much water was never an issue in that location. However, on the back deck, as you can see, they got flooded. So Glenn kindly drilled holes in all the bottom of my pots for me. I just need to not bring them inside after this. This is in the background of where our cows' summer pasture. How beautiful is that? Now, because we have had grizzlies in the area, we're just being very bear aware.
There you go, buddy. Limo ride. Think about buying these bulls like we do. They're used to loading into trailers like this. There you go. Look at that. Oh my God, Glenn, you're a genius. $18. What's going on? I see you got a boyfriend. You got a boyfriend. What's his name? Oh, I see. You don't want to talk about it.